mean, as you guys know, I'm new here, and just walking around the building, I mean, it's really old. It's an old building, and one of the things that I'm constantly trying to do is make sure that it's being taken care of. When things get broken, we want to fix them as soon as possible. That's quite challenging to maintain old buildings, and but we're doing our very best to try to get people to regularly maintain the building and the structure.
What's your least favorite part about LP?
Well, I'd say my least favorite part of LP would be the decrepit field. It's in bad condition, and I think it needs to be repaired sometime soon.
I'd have to say the visuals.
The building's ass. Like, it just sucks. It's the worst building I've ever seen in my life.
Definitely the lockers that are on the third floor.
Well, I think it all starts with recognizing that this is our building. We spend, most students, I know I spend a lot of time here, sometimes more than I do at home, because by the time I get home, I have some dinner, spend time with my family, I go to bed, but then I come back and spend a good 13, 14 hours of my day in this building. And so if everyone feels the same way, that they spend so much time here, that they own it, that this is something that we all own together, and that we want a good environment, then we have to speak up when people are doing things that are not appropriate, and they're not taking care of our facilities, and they're going out of their way to damage our facilities. I think that's a big problem, and we all have to do our part.
What's your least favorite part about LP?
It's pretty filthy. There's garbage everywhere. It's pretty gross.
So as you can see, this is one of LP's many garbage bins. Unfortunately, it's not filled with a lot of garbage. Here's a crushed soda can, which doesn't really belong in here. It should be recycled. I don't know if LP thinks this is environmentally friendly, but it's really not a good look.
Most kids, when we survey them, they do recycle at home, have a green bin at home, and they do that sorting piece at home, but when it comes to school, they just kind of are like, whatever, I'm just going to throw it in the garbage. And that's why you see things like in the cafeteria, garbage is overflowing, and that bin sort of contaminated with things that shouldn't go in it. But I think we have to do a better job of actually getting to kids, getting to students and seeing what they need in terms of education.
I think board-wide, there needs to be a more cohesive approach to waste, right? If you think of what we do in our homes, we have recycling, garbage, and organic wastes. Here, we only have recycling and garbage, and the recycling tends to get filled with garbage.
The City of Toronto has something called the Waste Wizard, which basically you can type any item in, like if you say key or something, it'll say which bin you're supposed to put it in. You say blanket, it'll tell you what kind of thing. So we need to bring that kind of education here as well. But the other piece is that we need to introduce a green bin program at the school, because until we do that, there's always going to be contamination.
Considering the age of the building, which I believe is about 80 years old, it's hanging in pretty well. There are things that could be much nicer, right? It would be wonderful if we had air conditioning on the days that was really hot. It would be wonderful if the heating was going immediately on the days that were really cold. But nothing prevents me from teaching or prevents me from delivering curriculum.
But I feel like the school needs to take action, rebuild our walls and rebuild our infrastructure.